guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm a little morning voicey because I literally just woke up like 30 minutes ago. And I'm about to get ready for church and Sunday morning. And I wanted to get ready on camera, and I thought, you know what? I'm going to get ready using as many Becca products as I have. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to go through and I'm going to kind of give you my thoughts on each one. So if you're new to my channel, I'm Mandy. I post 2 times a week on all things beauty. So if you haven't subscribed, be sure and do that right now and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any videos, since YouTube seems to be playing a lot of people lately and not showing them who they're subscribed to. So I'm going to put my hair back. Never said it was going to be pretty, but it's going back. And we're just going to get started. So what are we going to do first? I've already done my brows and I've primed my eyes. Let's just go ahead and start with the eyes, even though I'm doing something super simple. It's just a habit that I have. So Becca has eyeshadows. They have like 5 pan palettes. They have the like holiday edition palettes that they've come out with, which basically were all their highlights in eyeshadow form with a couple of extra colors. I don't have those. I've had the 5 pan ombre shadows before, but I didn't keep them because I just never reached for them and I never thought they were anything overly special. But I do think that it was a good idea for them to put their highlights in eyeshadow form because I do often use their highlights on my eyes, which I'm going to do today. But first, I'm going to start out with a bronzer. This particular color of bronzer was sent to me from Octoly, but y'all know I'm going to use 2 different colors that I have raved about. Bronze Bondi. I have Capri Coast in my kit. I'm probably going to add this one that they sent, Impanema Sun, in my kit. I love these bronzers so much. So I'm going to use the one that they sent me, Impanema Sun, which is the darkest one that I have. And I'm just going to put it all over my Morphe E27. And I'm not going to even worry about putting this just in the crease. I'm basically going to apply it all over my eye. Not going above my crease, but I'm going to put it in my crease. Let me zoom in just a little bit. Put it in my crease, and then I'm just also going to rub it all over my eyelid. So it's one of the simplest colors you'll ever apply to your lid because there's nothing precise about it. As long as you don't go all the way up to where you're touching your brow, you'll be good to go. But I love the tone of this color. It's perfect for eyeshadow. And I often use bronzers for eyeshadow, especially when I'm in a hurry or I just really don't have any motivation to figure out what else I'm going to do that day, or I don't want to wear a purple smoky eye to my kids' Valentine's Day party at school. You know, lots of different reasons where I will just reach for the bronzer. Plus, when you're traveling, like next month I'll be gone for a week again, and I'm going to basically do this eye look every single day because it keeps me from having to pack separate eyeshadows and from having to think about what I'm going to wear that day. It's just super fast and easy. So you see that color, I love these bronzers so much. The Impanema Sun I feel like is more matte than the Bronze Bondi and Capri Coast. So keep that in mind if you like a more matte bronzer. And then I'm just going to take the highlight that I'm going to be using. I have 4 or 5 highlights from Becca. This one is Champagne Pop, which is probably the one I reach for the most. Opal is a close second. I mean, I love all of them, but this is the one we're going to use today. I have a very close pan hittage situation. That is not a word, I am aware, in both this and Opal. But what I'm going to do for this is I'm just going to take it on my finger again. Super simple because you don't even need extra tools. And I'm just going to place it on the lid on top of that bronzer. I also feel like when people go for like bronzy looks, since we're going into the spring and summer, and really like bronze makeup looks are my favorite in general all year long, but especially for that time of year, this is excuse me, this is like the epitome of a summer bronzy look, just for me. I absolutely love it. That's all I'm going to do for the eyes. You're going to see that it all comes together in the end, and I really think that if you have not done this eye thing before, which it's so simple, you probably have, but if you haven't, you're going to probably want to when you see how well it comes together. So I'm going to color correct my eyes, but it's not with a Becca product, so I'll just kind of talk through it. I have used, I meant to prime, but I'll just do this. I have used the Becca under eye brightening corrector type thing in the pot, the like really light peach one. I've got like something stuck in my throat. I could not get that to work for me. I don't like a super bright under eye on myself personally. I feel like it was super bright. And even though I used minimal product, which I know you're not supposed to use a lot, it still caked and creased on me. So I didn't keep that one. But now that they've come out with that darker color, it interests me again. So if you've tried that, like the medium dark, and you're about my skin tone, is it too dark or will it work? Because if it will work, I think I might try that again. Okay, I meant to prime my face before I color corrected, but let's get into that now. I think Becca excels in the primer area. Like excels. The 3 primers I have from them, I love every single one of them. The 2 kind of luminous type primers are the Backlight priming filter, which I absolutely adore, and the First Light priming filter, which I didn't like as much at first as I do now, because this one doesn't give as much luminosity, but it just kind of wakes your face up. And there's been many a days in this season of winter and nasty raininess that I have just felt dull, and this is the primer that I reach for in that case. The primer I'm going to use today is the Velvet Blurring Primer, which again, I also love. I've talked about this before. I don't know why this gets bad reviews, because it does. I look on Sephora and Ulta, and it doesn't have the best reviews. I freaking love this stuff. It's not illuminating. I just kind of press it in, just on my cheeks and my forehead. It's not illuminating. It has like a peachy color to it, but obviously that doesn't translate onto the face. So I just kind of press it in. Really does just help blur. It helps my pores. It doesn't look cakey. I really like this primer. I don't get the bad reviews. But, you know, not everybody's me, and I get that. All right, now we're going to move on to foundation. Becca has a few different foundations. I feel like I've tried all of them. 2 of them I'm going to use today, and I'm going to tell you what I'm going to use too. The first one is the Aqua Luminous Perfecting Foundation. I love this foundation. I don't talk about it enough because I keep it in my kit. And honestly, I remember using it on me and loving it, so I bought it for my kit. I use it all the time in my kit. But then I just kind of stopped using it myself. So when I started thinking about doing this video, I started using it again and remembered why I love it so much. And you'll see as I apply it what I'm talking about. I'll talk about the next foundation in a second. But it comes in a dropper form. This is the color beige. The packaging is not my favorite because it's just kind of a pain. It doesn't give you as much as you want in the dropper. Like the dropper, at least mine, won't fill up all the way. So I have to go in a couple times. But that's the color beige, and you can see it's an aqua foundation. I'm going to use my BH Cosmetics. This is from the Rose Gold collection. I love BH Cosmetics kabuki brushes. I think they make some of the best kabuki brushes on the market. But this is the number 2 out of that. So I'm just going to pick it up on my hand. This is probably a little dark on me, but it ends up working on the end. I like to put my foundation on my lips because I have a lot of pigment on my lips, and I like to kind of cancel that out. So this foundation is, I would say, light coverage. It's really not even sheer coverage when it first goes on, and you could build it up to a nice medium, I think. You're not going to get anything above that. And it is, as you're going to be able to see, a luminous foundation. So if you have a lot of texture, even if it will cover that, because it does, I feel like, have some decent coverage, even if it will cover that, it will enhance it because it is luminous. So keep that in mind. I don't know if maybe that was where because this doesn't have the best reviews either. I don't know what these people are thinking. But I get it. It's only meant for certain skin type. So I can see why some people wouldn't like it. I feel like it works really well with the Velvet Blurring Primer. And the reason I didn't use one of the other ones is because I knew how luminous this was going to be to begin with, and I did not want to be like a grease ball. And if I would have added this with my backlight or first light priming filter, I would have probably looked like a grease ball. And I'm all for luminosity, but I'm not all for grease balling. That didn't sound right. I'm not all for looking like a grease ball. Okay, so the next foundation within the line that I'm going to talk about was also sent to me by Octoly. Thank you, Octoly. Because while this is not my favorite on my own, I do like it for this purpose. This is the Ultimate Coverage Complexion Cream. I had mine in the color Driftwood, which was formerly nude. Now, most of the time, I'm okay with just this amount of coverage. And today, I'm okay with this amount of coverage, but I'm going to show you how I use this when I have a little bit of extra redness. And because this is so much more coverage, I feel like this is pretty full coverage right off the bat. And you need so little of it. That was way more than I need. That was like half of a pump. You need one pump for your entire face. I think that's where a lot of people go wrong with this foundation because it's so concentrated that you don't need what you need in other foundations. It does not sit well on my face by itself. I feel like it's cakey and just doesn't wear well for me by itself, so it's not my favorite. But because it has so much coverage, I like to take it when I'm wearing a lighter coverage foundation on areas that need a tad more coverage. So where my redness peaks out the most is right here on my cheeks, and I'm just gonna stipple it in with the same brush. So I'm not gonna rub because I don't want to rub it all over. I wanna keep it concentrated where I first applied it. So I'm just gonna stipple it in, and it will automatically cover what I want to cover. If I had a blemish, I would do this with the blemish instead of a concealer. Because this is so high coverage, I like to, if I can, especially if it's all I have on hand, I like to conceal with a foundation, a very full coverage foundation, because it is meant to go in more areas than a concealer is. So most of the time it looks a little less cakey and a little less like you have product on your face, if that makes sense. So that's why and how I like to use that foundation. But can we just appreciate the finish of that Aqua Luminous? Freaking love it. Love, love, love it. Okay. Concealer, again, don't have one for Becca, so I will kind of talk through this real quick. They have two concealers. They have one in a pot, which I believe is the same type consistency as the corrector, which I never tried it because I knew the corrector kind of looked cakey on me, so I just didn't think that the concealer was going to look much better. And then they have the one in the Doe Foot applicator, which is, I believe, the sister concealer to the Aqua Luminous foundation. So yes, I love the Aqua Luminous foundation, but I tried the concealer one time and I didn't like it. It was not enough coverage for me. I need something that's going to cover more than that provided. So I feel like if you're someone that doesn't have a lot of darkness, doesn't need a lot of coverage, and just wants to brighten up under the under eyes and wants something that's light coverage, you might like that, but it just wasn't for me. Okay, the next I'm going to set my under eyes with the newer Becca Under Eye Brightening Setting Powder. I haven't decided on this. I mean, I'm keeping it. People have compared it to the Laura Mercier. I don't even have my brush that I use. Hold on. Laura Mercier setting powder. I haven't decided on that yet. I feel like I still... Oh, I got a big eyelash. I feel like I still like my Laura Mercier better. I'm still trying to decide. I do feel like this brightens a little bit more than the Laura Mercier. I don't use enough of that one for it to actually have a brightening effect, but I do know you can overuse it, which I would assume you could do with this as well. But it's not one I reach for all the time, but it's not one that I was going to return either. So that's just kind of a meh product. But I know some people love it. I'm going to set my face, again, not with Becca, but I am going to talk about their powder. Now, I'm really kind of upset about it because I saw after the fact that Ulta had There's some new powder they're releasing, some aqua powder as a platinum perk, and I didn't get an email about that, and I didn't see it until the day after it was a platinum perk. Therefore, it's not available yet. You know how they kind of launch it like one day early access for platinum members? I didn't get a chance to get it. I will though, because I am interested to try it. But as of right now, the only powder that I've tried is the first setting powder they came out with. I think they have a pink one now, but the first one was like I always do that. It was like the golden, I think it was called golden something. I despised that powder. I don't say despised much about stuff because I don't like bashing brands. And honestly, I love Becca, so I'm not bashing them. I just know that that powder did not work for me. It made me look like an oily grease ball, and it turned my face orange. So I returned it because I could not get it to work, and I tried. I tried over different foundations. I tried with different brushes. I tried with different amounts. I tried really hard, and I could not get it to work. So I just used another powder. But this is now the bronzer. I already know how much I love these bronzers. I cannot speak highly enough about the Becca bronzers. The first one I tried was this Bronze Bondi, and I fell so hard for it. I needed a little bit of a lighter color in my kit. I'm peeling. You can see it in my hair over here. So I got the Capri Coast, and then, like I said, Octoly sent me that Impanema Sun, which I have in like a palette. Do not like having to use my viewfinder as my mirror. I've got to find a bigger mirror that I can set right here. I just love it. I love it. It just looks so natural. I mean, as natural as it can be when you slather it on like I do. But I've said many times before, bronzer is one product I can't not wear. Now I'm going to go back into Champagne Pop and use my Anastasia brush and highlight. Everybody knows about the Becca highlights. I think that's what first put them, I know that's what first put them on the, what am I trying to talk about? Put them on the, why do I lose my words when I film? I don't know. Map. Put them on the map. Put them on the makeup map. That's what it is. Okay. I like a very strong Cupid's bow highlight mustache. And I like a very light sweep of a highlight on my nose. I don't want it to be obvious. I just want it to catch the light. Now I'm going to take that same highlight and go ahead and highlight my inner corners. I have very deep set eyes, so I have very deep set inner corners where highlight doesn't always show up, which is unfortunate because I love a good inner corner highlight. And I'm going to highlight my brow bone. I've said it many times before, some people do not think shimmer should be on the brow bone. I am not one of those people. I mean, I have a highlight mustache right now. Do you think I don't want it on my brow bone? I want it everywhere. Okay. Blush. I'm holding the blush. So this is a palette. I have, their luminous blushes are some of my absolute favorite. I have like 4 of those colors. And I have Songbird in a single, and I have 2 palettes. This palette has 2 permanent colors, Songbird and Snapdragon, right here. And then this one's called Wisteria. This is the Blushed with Light Blush Trio palette. I'm going to put my brush in all of them. But just know, if you are new, the luminous blushes are literally some of my favorite blushes of all time. I cannot get enough of them. I'm going to use the Smashbox Buildable Cheek Brush, and I'm really just going to go in all 3. See how much color that gave? Yeah, that gave a lot of color. I'm going to buff out with my Hourglass Radiant Light. Okay. I just got, well, I didn't just get it, but I just opened a new one. It was like Christmas. When you open a new compact of one of your favorite items, doesn't get much better. Spray my face, And then I'm just going to go back in with the Impanema Sun, the darker one that we used on our eyes, and shade under my eye. Okay, so I don't have an eyeliner or mascara from Becca, and the more I thought about it, I don't even know that they make eyeliners or mascara. So I went ahead and did that off camera, and all we've got left is lips. I am going to use 2 products from Becca. The first lipstick is going to be Lush Lip Color Balm in the color Cafe au Lait. So of course this is the lightest color they offer, because would I ever pick anything else? Is it going to focus? So, okay, so this is Cafe au Lait. When I swatched this in the store, I actually went in Ulta, which is rare. I was like, yes, I want this. I don't want it on my teeth. This color is right up my alley. I love the color. I really do like the formula too. It's very moisturizing. It does not stay on long on your lips, but I'm not counting that as a fault because the name is lip balm. Lip balms are not really known to stay on your lips forever unless you get like the sleeping mask lip balms. Really moisturizing. I just really like it. This I love so much I'm almost out. I should probably go ahead and put it in my empties. I'm gonna have to scrape to get the rest. It's the Liquid Crystal Lip Topper, and this is in the Champagne and Bellini shade. What is on my neck? This does stay on a long time for a gloss, and I'm literally scraping the edges. Yep, winning combo in my opinion. Okay, so this, take my hair down, zoom y'all out a little bit, is the finished look using majority, I mean, I would say all but like my concealer and my powder and my corrector, pretty much, was Becca. And I have to say, I love Becca. I really do. I love the brand. When they come out with something new, as long as it's not like a repackaged version of all their highlighters, like some of the eyeshadow palettes were, as long as it's something new, I am most likely going to be trying it. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. I can tell you I do pretty much like everything that I have. The Complexion cream is not my ultimate favorite, but that's just because of my skin type and preferences. And the under eye powder is a take it or leave it type thing for me. But other than that, I adore everything else. And so if you haven't tried much of Becca and you've kind of been wondering about the brand, hopefully this helped you. Or if you love it, hopefully this just reinforced your love for it. So thanks so much for watching as always. I hope you all go out and have a very blessed day.